but that's okay. It's only Surskit. Wait, do I have multiple shiny Surskit? I know I've got at least one. I don't know. Let's have a look, because, that's what we do. We always wait until the very last minute. We have... Okay, we don't have a shiny Surskit at all. Okay, well, tonight's actually a good spotlight hour for me. I honestly thought that we had a shiny Surskit at this point, but no, we don't. We do have a hundo, though, because that is a hundo masquerade. And it is double transfer candy tonight, so if you have leftover stuff from the Halloween event that you are still looking to get rid of, tonight is a good night for it. But yeah, okay, hopefully we'll get the shiny tonight. I honestly thought that I already had a shiny Surskit, because it's Surskit, and it's Surskit. Okay. So, let's get into this. Let's hope that we have better luck than we've had. It was only last week that I didn't get the shiny from the last couple of weeks. So, yeah, tonight is the night we get another shiny. Fingers crossed. And it was also Melbourne Cup Day today in Melbourne. Melbourne Cup, obviously, it was in Melbourne. It's not like it's going to be in Geelong. Yeah, so pretty quiet. Pretty quiet down here, which is good to see. So yeah, we'll get into it. We'll hit that thumbs up button ourselves, because, and coolio. Let's grab my water, just because it's going to be a warm day. And yeah, of course, I got caught in traffic coming down here. I left with plenty of time to get ready for the stream properly and all of that good stuff, but no. Just before where I turn off to get here, like the freeway exit, they've got roadworks, and for some reason, people just don't know how to merge into one lane of traffic, and it makes it incredibly difficult to get here sometimes, especially on days like today where it's like fairly quiet, but everybody is on their way home from something right now because of the cup day. So yeah, the freeway just before I need to turn off is like bumper to bumper, like all the way up, and it's like, great, thank you so much, everybody. But where is everybody in our chat? Come on, people. Surely we know what's going on. Let's get into it, though. Have everything that we need to get into it. So yeah, unfortunately, after all the Halloween event, at least until later in the month where we've got the wild area stuff, some of the events this month are a bit average. All the spotlight hours, I mean, I still need this shiny, so I can't really complain too much, but if I had to... I don't know why sometimes I insist on not tying up my hair. It's alright. Yeah. And my bag is full. Fantastic. That's the way that we want to start. What could we get rid of? Actually, heal some stuff. What are we going to give these two? Let's give these... Check it out. How many? 28. Alright. I really need to still do something with these. And how many of these we can rid of? 8 and 1. And okay, that gives me some space. Where is everybody? It is incredibly quiet here all of a sudden. Like, oh, okay, now there we go. I was going to say, the chat's not updating. How you doing, Josh? Welcome in. See, I need to actually go. It is double transfer candy, and I do have, I don't know, some to get rid of. Really, I need to get rid of way too many shinies. That's the thing. So for now, let's just chuck. Alright, that'll do. That'll do. Zub Nasty, how you doing? Wondering if I have any Deoxys shinies. Yeah, I've got most of them, I'm pretty sure. Deoxys. Yes. Yeah, so I've got normal, fighting, and defensive. The only one that I need is... no, wait, that's attack, isn't it? Yeah. Attack or speed. Which one is it? I don't know. I'm only missing the one. Which is this one. Oh no, I've got that one. What am I tripping on? No, it's speed. Yeah, speed. That's speed, isn't it? Yeah, so I've got attack, defense, and normal form. I still need speed form. Deoxys. Are they legit? Yeah. Yeah, we haven't had Deoxys. Surprisingly, yeah, that's one of the raid bosses that we haven't had in ages. So hopefully they bring them back at some point. But yeah, I've had pretty good luck when it comes to Deoxys. One of these is also 100, I think. Is it one of the speed ones? Yeah, this one. An attack form. So I'm going to hundo attack form Deoxys as well. But yes, they are all legitimate. I'm actually surprised that I have 38 of them. But yeah, it's been a minute since we've had Deoxys in raids, so hopefully they actually bring them back at some point. Because I still need that attack form one. Speed form one, rather. Yeah, the last time that we had Deoxys in raid was... Wow, that would have been before COVID. A few years. It's been like, what, 4 years since we've... Actually, that's actually got me wondering. Hey, how you doing, Bullfish? Welcome in. When was my last Deoxys called? Go away. Sort by. Very recent. They already were sorted by recent. That's 2018. So that's the first one. Recent. My last one was in 2022. So it was still 2 years ago. So yeah. Pretty much, yeah, the 11th or the 9th or the 11th, or the 11th. Whichever one, it's been over 2 years since we've last had Deoxys in raids. So, yeah, I reckon it's about time that they brought them back. It's a boring spotlight hour. It is. I actually do need shiny Surskit, surprisingly. I thought that I had at least one when I started, but I was wrong. So, fingers crossed, I can at least get the shiny today. That would be fantastic. But yeah, unfortunately, Surskit isn't the greatest Pokemon in the world. Masquerade can be useful for PvP. It's a decent one to get because it does have double debuffing moves. Masquerade. Yeah, so Silver Wing and Ominous Wind are both debuffing moves. So they can actually be pretty good for PvP, as you can see. I can remember when I was using this in one of the old Sylph League tournaments that we had, because this one is set up, it's a hundo, it's not really good for PvP, but it was the only one that I had, so this is the one that I set up, and I kept getting debuffs against everybody that I was versing, so I ended up smashing that tournament, because like every second charge move that I was throwing was just, buffing, not debuff, because they're both buffing moves. How you doing, Ryan? Sorry, man. Welcome in. You're almost 19 now. Last time you saw it was when you were getting your license when you were 16. You're almost 19 now. Oh, you're talking about Deoxys. Hello, James. Welcome in. Welcome in. Yeah, we had a really slow start to the stream. For like the first 5 minutes, I'm like, where is everybody? I'm talking to myself, and all of a sudden everybody's coming at the same time. So I appreciate you all being here. Thank you. I'm no longer talking to myself now. It's always the worst thing when you're still a relatively small streamer and you're like talking to yourself. Can't let that get you down though. No, it's the best Pokemon. Hey man, like I said, it has its uses. It can be useful with those debuffs. I keep saying debuff moves, just the buffing moves. If you get lucky, you can get incredibly good every bloody time. Just get to that certain point of the trail and the internet just dies on me for a second. But yeah, if you're wondering, tonight's bonus is double transfer candy, because they usually do that on the less desirable of the featured Pokemon. So given that it is Surskit, they're like, perfect one. People won't be interested so much in the catching, so we can do double transfer candy. So if you need to transfer a whole bunch of stuff that you have left over from the Halloween event, tonight is your night. I already have the shiny Reggie's nasty, so I don't actually need any of them. Okay, put that in there. But yeah, even so, there is no distance trades in Pokemon Go, so I can't actually trade with you, even if, unfortunately. And you'd probably get in a bit of trouble selling Pokemon, I reckon. Like if Niantic found out, especially since it's like live on stream, so they'd be like, hang on a second, that's naughty, you're not allowed to do that. Hey Becky, how you doing, man? Welcome in. You can from home. Yeah, but I'm not at home. Or I'm not in they're not in Pokemon Home. I'm guessing that's what you're talking about, Pokemon Home. I haven't transferred any of my stuff into Home for ages though. You had a few 2018 and one legendary from a guaranteed trade. Oh, you mean the trade? Yeah, okay. For your lucky trades. I'm surprised at the amount of Pokemon that I've still got from like 2018. Meh, flies, go away. I hate being down here. I'm always like, I hate the winter. And I'm always like, yes, the summer's coming around. It's going to be warmer, like spring, summer, all that sort of stuff. But I forget about the flies. And as soon as you come down here on like any event where it's, you start walking around, you just start getting harassed by the flies. And it's just like, I forgot. Stupid flies. You still in hospital? Damn, man. What, has it been like a continuous long stay, or have you been home and just gone back? I'm guessing that you're saying that you're still in hospital means that you've been there the whole time. That sucks, man. How long have you been in hospital now? How you doing, DJ Master Jedi X? Welcome in. How's your day? Do I have shiny Giratina or Arceus? I have shiny Giratina, both of them in this. Arceus hasn't been released at all, so no shiny Arceus. We'll just chuck one of these in there. That'll do. That'll do, little buddy. Do I want shiny Arceus for Deoxys? Probably not, dude. I don't really play the main series games that often anymore, so I'm not really interested in getting stuff for them. This is really the only game that I still play at this point. Unova Tour in February. More than likely around that time. They might want to space it out a little bit though, just because we do have the Wild Area event coming up at the end of November. So I don't think they'll want to do two big events that close to each other. They might space it out and make it a bit later than February next year. Previous tours have been in that early stage of the year, but that's because they only had two big events. Now that we've got three big events, they might space them out evenly. So we might see it around March or April maybe. Just to have a, oh my god, fly's still trying to fly out my nose, thank you. It's the only one that you have from Shining Pearl. It's all good, dude. You keep it for yourself. You ready for shiny Toxel, shiny Dialga, and Palkia? Yes, we're also getting Primal. I almost said Giratina. Primal Groudon and Kyogre back for the global event as well. So yeah, gonna have both of those megas, primal slash megas, and both Dialga and Palkia. I was lucky enough to get them both last time around. Oh my god. Pelk. So yeah, we got ourselves a couple of shiny Origin form Palkias. And how many? Dialgas, I think it was just the one. Yeah, just the one Origin form Dialga. I probably have every Pokemon at this point. In what? In this or in any other, like this? Now, back when Sword and Shield was out and I was a bit more active in the main series games, I used to do a lot of trading with you guys and hosting of the dens and all that sort of stuff, but I never really got into Scarlet and Violet as much. I don't know, it just didn't hit the same. I think it might just in between all the bugs and just, I don't know. I don't know what it was. Could be partly to do with ADHD and I just didn't have the same interest in it. If it's not providing you with the same amount of dopamine, you're just like, nah. And I think it might have just been that. Game was just meh. Didn't really feel it. Harvest event is coming. Didn't we just have the harvest event? Wasn't that the second part of the Halloween event? In Pokemon Go. No, there's still some things that I don't have. Mainly because I haven't done evolutions. Like the first couple of decks are done, but as you get towards the other decks, like there's still a lot of stuff that's missing. And as I said, it's mainly just to do with having not done evolutions for stuff. It's like I have their first forms and I just haven't. Like Jangmo-o and that, I just haven't evolved any Kamoos. It's not that I can't, I just haven't done it. So yeah, most of this missing stuff from my decks is either stuff that isn't available or stuff that I just haven't. I haven't even evolved a Barbacle yet. I mean, how long's that been in the game for? It's a very ugly Pokemon and there's a reason why. Just because I'm not interested in it. But yeah, I've never been in a rush to really fill out my decks, so that's why it's like, I'll only evolve stuff if I have a Hundo or a Shiny or something like that I want to evolve. If it's just random stuff, unless I need it for something, it's like, meh, it can wait. It'll get done when it gets done. Gee, we're already 20 minutes in. That 20 minutes has gone incredibly quickly. I suppose I did start a few minutes late, so that's probably got something to do with it. But if you guys haven't already, please do hit that thumbs up button and subscribe if you haven't already. We will be hosting raids tomorrow evening, so if you're interested in getting into... What raids are we... What raids are we doing tomorrow? I can't even remember. What is tomorrow's raid hour? Someone please remind me. I should know this, given that I am Go Contour. It's always at the start of the month when everything changes over. I'm just like, wait, what are we doing? Zabachet. Dude, please talk like a normal. Stop with this Gen Z nonsense. Normal speech. Should start making that a rule. It's like, talk like a normal person, otherwise you get timed out of the chat. How you doing, Auntie? Welcome in. How are you doing? You lost all of your old Pokemon games and consoles to drug addiction. And now that you've recovered, you got your first Switch, 2 games, you're super bummed that you missed out on the shiny Deoxys or regular Deoxys. They're available in the other, like the main series games, aren't they? Like I said, I haven't played any of them but I was positive like you can get them from there. Or are they just event ones? Just Amiga, Ruby and Sapphire, really? That's surprising. Yeah, I never played Ruby or Sapphire. You're too poor to go back to the old games. I'm sure there's like communities, like trading communities and stuff like that you can join on Facebook and Discord and all that sort of stuff. So I'm sure you'll be able to find somebody that would be willing to trade you the stuff that you needed, that would have access to an abundance of that stuff. There is always avenues, guys. All you have to do is just search for it. But I'm sure you'd be able to find like Facebook groups and like trading communities that have got stuff from all the old games. You wish Pokemon was on... Well, technically it is on consoles when it comes to, like, that's what a Switch is. And as for PCs, there is ways that you can play the Pokemon games on PC. Unfortunately, you won't have access to all the, like, the communities and stuff that I was just talking about, but you can play them on PCs if you ROM them. But don't tell the Pokemon company I told you that, otherwise they'll be angry. True, but you can't send them to bank or home. If games, can't you? Game, where you like, surely they would have to make it that you could trade them back into Pokemon Home. It's like I pay a subscription for Pokemon Home and I never use it. I haven't used it basically like properly since Sword and Shield. I've still got, I think it's like a couple of boxes full of shiny Mews and stuff from people that would like trading me that stuff to give away to people when I was doing the Sword and Shield streams. So yeah, there's like boxes of Mews. There's, what else would still be in there? I'm not actually sure. I can't remember. It's been so long since I've been going through it. What is Pokemon Home used for? Only used to get a Meltan to level 40. Is it? So like I said, I haven't used it in forever, so... I thought you just used it to store stuff that you were going to trade to people at some point, like I was doing. Come on, little shiny dude, where are you at? Little shiny Surskit. I need you, man. You would have to have one DS with the original Fire Red or Leaf Green and or Ruby or Sapphire. You would have to glitch the RNG without mods and then send it to Platinum and then into... Wait, seriously? Surely there's got to be an easier way. What's my favorite Pokemon starter? Charmander. I'm a Gen 1er, guys. Favorite legendary is Mewtwo. Favorite starter is Charmander. Favorite Pokemon is Charizard. Favorite shiny is Charizard. I just went with my original picks from back in the day when I was a kid. This hasn't changed because it's too difficult. There's too many Pokemon to choose from these days. If you link your Pokemon Go to home, you get a level 100 Meltan with awesome stats, do you? Oh. So that's how long it's been. Like, back when I was last trading stuff from Pokemon Go into Pokemon Home. It was back when you had to use Let's Go Pikachu or Eevee and transfer it into the parks there, and then from the parks into Pokemon Home. So, as you can tell, it's been a while. And that was just a really tedious thing to do, so I never really did it for long. It's like, oh, this way too long. And you would need a 3DS with a home. With a 3DS with a home. A 3DS with home and transporter. Why would they make it so difficult to transport a certain Pokemon into... Surely they'll make it that you'll be able to, because every Pokemon is going to have to be available in home at some point. Is Deoxys Pokemon is Deoxys? Well, your favorite Pokemon is Deoxys. And your birthday is December 17th. Mine is December 1st. So, less than a month and it's my birthday again. They come around so quickly, it's like, oh my god, why? I keep getting older and it's not fair. Why can't I just stop time? Can somebody please tell me how to stop time? That would be fantastic. I'm sick of getting older. I'd happily stay. Like, I already feel like I'm too old. I'd like to just go back and be younger. Can I do a Thanos? Just get like the time stone and just, you know, turn back time and stuff. Men aged like wine. I don't know about that. When I wake up in the morning and I look at myself in the mirror, I'm just like, oh man. Like I've done pretty well. Like I've started to know a couple of little grey hairs sneaking in here and there, and I'm like, oh my god. But then I look at my friends that are like a year younger than me, and they're like full grey, and I'm like, oh, okay, well, I'm doing pretty good then. There's only a few little scattered here and there. I've noticed more on like, got a couple of grey eyebrows. Like eyebrow hairs, not eyebrows. Same, you're 27 going on. Dude, you're still in your 20s. You can't complain yet, alright? I wish I was still that age. Keep me aging like fine wine. Yeah, I don't know about that. Though, I will admit that I do tend to have more luck with the women now than I did during my 20s, which is it's probably because I was too busy just being lazy during my 20s. Not actually putting myself out there into the market, and now that I'm a bit older and I'm actually doing that, it's just like, okay. Cool. One thing that I have noticed is all the women that I do tend to be with tend to like older men, and because they're all still in their 20s, and I'm like, why? What do I have that you are so interested in? It's not like I'm mature or anything. I walk around playing Pokemon. Time change mess. Probably won't catch streams for a while if you're working. Also, it's daylight savings has ended for you, Tef. Is that what you were saying? I am awesome and kind. Thanks. I try and be as humble as possible. Damn. Well, that sucks. But you won't be able to make streams. For the rest of... This is why I always tie my hair. slight breeze and it's like, yeah. This month, I've not really got anything special in raids. Got, Reggie Dragos, Reggie Alecki. Unfortunately, neither of them are going to be shiny, even though we've had them multiple times in raids now. Doesn't look like they're classing the elite raids as being in raids. So yeah, they're not going to be shiny. And we've got Zacian and Zamazenta again. So you won't be missing out on anything special when it comes to raids. Jeez, ladies, man. Oh, apparently these days I am. It just sort of happened. But I suppose I always have been. I mean, if I think back to what I was like in high school, I was like, yeah, this is actually pretty popular with the girls. So. I suppose I did isolate myself doing game design stuff for a lot of my 20s. So that's probably why things changed. I went from being popular to being not, and then as soon as I put myself back out there, I'm like, why am I so popular? It's like, oh, that's right, because I used to be. Again, not trying to make seem like I'm so cool. It's just, yeah, I forgot how popular I actually used to be when it came to that sort of thing. It's like, oh, okay, cool. Oh, yeah, that's right, Lugia. Lugia's not too bad. If you're still hunting that shiny. It was the first shiny that we actually got in for legendary. Both legendary, like first legendary and first shiny legendary that we had.
So what would that have proved? I would be interested in.
If you have Tuesday evenings off, you can still catch the streams, but tomorrow you work. Okay. Fair enough. As I said, there's not really much that's on this month that you'll be missing out on. But you have a dental appointment, so need to head off. Just wanted to check in. All good, Tef. Have fun at the dentist. I know how fun they can be. Getting your teeth drilled and cleaned and stuff. Speaking of that, I actually need to get my teeth cleaned. My sister is a dental nurse, and she was pointing it out the other day. She's like, yeah, you could probably have your bottom teeth cleaned. I'm like, gee, thanks. Let's get a little bit of build up that I got to get rid of, and then probably get my teeth whitened. That's about it. I've actually got pretty good teeth. I got like one cavity that I need to get taken care of now. It's only a small one. But other than that, my teeth are pretty good. My wisdom teeth have come through straight, so I haven't had to worry about them. They haven't really given me any drama. My teeth are nice and straight. It's, just a few little basic upkeep things that I got to do. Which is good, because a lot of people have dental issues, and especially in my family. Both my parents have got dental issues, sort of thing. So it's like, well, I don't know where I got my teeth from, but they're good. I'll keep them, thank you. Please be careful. Oh, no, I'm on a path. That road there is the freeway, and I don't really need to worry about it because there's a river in between me and the freeway, so I'll be plenty safe. Do I collect Pokemon cards? I have here and there. I don't actively collect them, but I do have a collection of stuff that I've sort of bought over the years. But no, I don't go out of my way to collect them or anything. Be careful with cars because you got hit by a truck. Damn, dude. I'm sorry to hear. I have been hit by 2 cars in my lifetime, both while riding my bike as a child. Thankfully, it wasn't too bad. Both cars were going relatively slow. And they sort of like just hit me in the leg, which was not too bad. Am I enjoying Surskit? Totally. Can you hear the joy in my voice? My enthusiasm? Yay! Go Surskit. Ooh. I do actually need this shiny, so if I can get one, I will be relatively happy. Auntie, you're saying damn for the me collecting sort of collecting Pokemon cards, or damn for being hit by a car twice? No, they both involved alleyways. So one time when I was a kid, me and my sister were riding bikes, and we were riding through the alleyway and not looking when we should have been crossing the roads and stuff, because it's hard to explain the alleyways back where I used to grow up. Basically, they sort of joined up some of the streets. So we came flying out of an alleyway, and my sister told me to stop, but I thought she said go. Completely different word, but I didn't hear it right, and I kept flying out of this alleyway, and yeah, the car hit me, ran into me, but luckily it was going fairly slow. And then the second time I was riding past the alleyway on the street, and my friend's mum drove out of the alleyway and ran into me. So yeah, and neither was too severe. The first one was a bit more damaging. The first one I had this massive bruise down my leg. But yeah, the second one wasn't too bad. Beanie's favourite spotlight hour this year. Totally, man. Come on, Surskit! For being hit by a car, okay. Because it's going to be like, wait, what does he mean that? Because I don't really collect. He's like, damn, man, I thought you collected Pokemon cards. Back when I was younger, though, back when it was the second run of the first lot of cards that came out with all the special Charizards and all that sort of stuff, I went down to my local game shop, jumped on the bus, sat on the bus for half an hour getting down to High Point, which is the mall here in this part of Melbourne, the western suburbs of Melbourne. Went into the game shop, bought myself a packet of Pokemon cards, jumped on the bus, opened up the packet of cards on the way home, going through them, pulled a Charizard card, holo Charizard. I was just I knew how special it was, so it straight into my wallet. As soon as I got home, put it in a plastic case. It's been in it ever since. It's pretty much near mint condition, but it is a shadow, not a shadow one, but it's shadow holo card. So it's not a shadowless one, but it should still be worth a bit. I should get it graded one day. God, it's good for him for surviving. But yeah, they weren't life-threatening accidents. They were minor kerfuffles. No, they were minor incidents, so it's okay. Could have been a lot worse, sort of thing. But luckily for me, neither of the cars were driving too quickly. I was actually more excited that I got hit the first time. It's I've rushed home and I've ran inside. I'm like, Mom, guess what? I just got hit by a car. I was absolutely excited about it for some reason, because I was only 7 or 8 years old, something like that. But the lady that hit me, she was pregnant at the time. And she's my sisters ended up staying with her and directing her back home, because I just rushed home to tell Mum that I'd been hit by a car. Oh my God, it's so cool, Mum, I got hit by a car. And this poor lady's come back to our house and she's bawling her eyes out because she's just hit some kid and she's pregnant and she felt absolutely terrible. And here I am at home bouncing off the walls, just oh, I got hit by a car, I got a story to tell all my friends. I was a pretty crazy child. So I mean, back in those days, there wasn't really a lot of information on ADHD and all that sort of stuff, because the internet wasn't really a thing. So, yeah, looking back on my life and my childhood, I'm how did I not know? But everything started to make sense once I started doing research into it. I'm just yeah, and thinking back on my earlier life, I'm that makes sense why I was like that and why I did those things. And now I have a habit of diagnosing other people. One of the girls that I'm seeing at the moment, she's One of the girls that I'm seeing is she's diagnosed ADHD, and she's well aware of that. She's being diagnosed. Another girl that I'm seeing is also diagnosed with ADHD, and then another chick that I'm seeing, she is probably ADHD. She hasn't been diagnosed, but the more that I spend time with her, the more I'm just like, yeah, that's an ADHD thing. You should go and get tested. So it's like we gravitate towards each other, us neurospecies. I saw the perfect analogy for it the other day. It was like, what was it? Oh, I can't remember what it was, but how you end up just knowing and befriending other people that are the same as you. It's just because they're so much easier to talk to, because you can just not have to worry about feeling like you're being judged for just rambling about random things like info dumping and trauma bonding and all of that sort of stuff, because it just happens. And then you realize that you're best friends and you're like, wow, we have so much in common after bonding after, with all this trauma, past trauma and stuff. It's good times. I still do need to go and get my diagnosis though. But my sister was diagnosed with it recently, and it's a genetic thing. So given that she's got it, and my mum's she was never diagnosed with it, but she's been doing reading into it. She's like, you know what? Her therapist has also recommended that she goes and gets tested, and she also thinks that my grandfather has it as well. Looking back on everything, she's just like, you know what? I think your grandfather's got it. Like, yep, cool. Runs in the family. What's ADHD? Attention deficit hyperactive disorder. It's not actually a disorder though. It's basically just your brain works differently to what a neurotypical person's brain does. So it just means that you perceive things differently. You have difficulties with dopamine in your brain. So things that you do, because every motivation that a person has is dictated by the dopamine response that they get in their brain from it. And people that are ADHD have difficulty with that sort of thing just because their brain doesn't release dopamine properly. So you're constantly searching for novel things and things that'll release ADHD, and you have difficulty completing regular tasks that are normal. When I say normal person, that's probably the wrong way of putting it, because everybody's normal, whether you're neurotypical or not. It's more just neurotypical people. The world is set up for them. So what most people will find easy to do, get up, brush your teeth, go to work, all that sort of stuff, people with ADHD can struggle with those basic acts. Yeah, I don't know, that's hard to... Essentially, it just means that we're always looking for novel things and new hobbies and always trying to keep ourselves entertained, and if we're not entertained, then we fall into spirals, and it's just hard to function. And a lot of people are hyperactive because of it as well, hence the hyperactive part in it. But that can be two different types of hyperactivity. It can be physical hyperactivity, where people are actually physically bouncing off of walls. So if you've got a kid in your school who's bouncing off of the walls and stuff like that and won't concentrate in class, they're more unlikely ADHD or autism. It's on the same spectrum as autism. But it can also be internal hyperactivity, so your brain can just be hyperactive. So you can have 10 voices in your head that are constantly telling you to do stuff, but it's just difficult for you to listen to any single one of the 10 voices. How you doing, Daybreaker? Welcome in. I'm just trying to explain to the class what ADHD is, Daybreaker. You're one of the fellow neuro spices, so you'll know. You know what I'm talking about. You don't know about you, but you have ADHD and you've been asleep all day. Probably have a voice. You have the voice one instead. Yeah. Like I said, the hyperactivity can either be internal or external, and that's where a lot of. But you're also a girl, and girls tend to have inattentive ADHD, which is more internalized. So boys, that's why women have been diagnosed with ADHD until recently. A lot of women growing up just get diagnosed with like depression and anxiety and stuff like that instead of ADHD, just because it displays itself differently in women compared to men. Men tend to be more external with their hyperactivity, while women tend to be more internal with it. Your womanly power is hearing voices. Yeah, with one of my friends, because she's a woman who's got ADHD, she was saying like she doesn't have an inner dialogue, like that monologue, where you can hear that voice in your head, and I'm like trying to talk to her about it. I'm like, what is that like? Because I have like several voices in my head, and they all have different accents and different. Like I can distinguish between the different voices in my head. They don't have names or anything like that, but I have like multiple things in my head at any given time. There's one, like the main one is like my voice just internally, but then there's like others. But she doesn't have it, and she's just like, I'm like, what's it like when you think about things or when you're reading internally? And she's like, I just understand what I'm reading or what I'm thinking. I don't actually internalize it or have that inner monologue. And I'm like, whoa, that's so weird. What is that like? I can't imagine what that's like, not having a voice in your head. Good night, Jimmy. It's 12 a.m. and you have work in the morning. And no worries, Auntie. Have a good night, a good sleep. I wish that was something that I could do. Again, another problem that ADHDers tend to have is that whole circadian rhythms being thrown off, and you just... After midnight, that's when I'm the most awake. I can be tired all day and all I want to do is sleep. But then it gets to a certain time of night and I'm wide awake and my brain's just like, no, you can't sleep now. The world is quiet. You can actually think in peace. So that's my time to be in my own thoughts and stuff, just because I can concentrate, because I'm not being distracted by the world around me, because everything else is quiet. All the voices are your voice, just going at 100 miles an hour. So yeah, I'm not too bad at slowing the thoughts down, but I do have like one thing that I've done ever since I was a kid, and it wasn't until I started reading into the ADHD stuff that I was like, oh wow, okay, this is probably why I do that, is I always externalize my thoughts. So I've had a thing of talking to myself ever since I was a kid. And I'm like, oh, when I grow up, I'll grow out of that sort of thing. It's just something that I do as a kid, but it's something that I've just continued doing. And I find it a lot easier to organize my thoughts if I'm saying them externally to myself. It just seems like if I actuate my thoughts into reality rather than just have them bubbling around in my head, it helps me actually put order to them. If they're not externalized, then they just all muddled together and I can't really think properly. I can't come to conclusions and I can't put things into any sort of order. I don't know. It's hard to explain. Or sometimes you just go, no thoughts, empty head. See, I'm very, very rarely like that. I always seem to have something bubbling through my head. Hey, Rayga, how you doing, man? Yeah, but as I was saying, I find that externalizing my thoughts is always helps me to sort of put some sort of... I don't know, I think it's just because once they're out in the actual world, they're real. And I feel like when they're not out in the real world, then they're still just lost in the ether. They're not real. That makes no sense, but it makes sense to me, all right? It's how my brain works. Leave me alone. But again, I was talking to my friend Alice about it, and like I was telling her that, I was like, yeah, I have a tendency to talk to myself, and she's like, yeah, I do that too. I'm like, okay, cool, it's not just me. Because that was one of the thoughts that I always had as a kid. It's like, is me talking to myself mean that I'm crazy? Isn't that what crazy people do, like talking to themselves? It's huge, it's not shiny though. We've got 8 minutes left to try and get this shiny. It's been a pain in my butt though. Then again, you also have autism. Sometimes you can't tell if it's autism or ADHD. Okay, so you have ADHD. You got the well, I was going to say trifecta, but a trifecta is 3 different things. You got the duo. I don't know, sometimes when I'm reading about the stuff and thinking about how I think that I'm sort of somewhere in between as well. Because when I was talking to my therapist about it, he's like, have you ever been tested for autism? I'm like, hey, what does that mean? Because I was talking to him about the ADHD, and he's like, maybe you should also get tested for autism and see if it's that. And he started asking if I had some of the symptoms of it, if I'm like sensitive to sounds and lights and stuff like that. And I'm like, I mean, not really. I'm more, I don't know. Sometimes, yes, maybe. I don't know. Could be. Never let your inner kid die, chat. Nope. Mine will never. That's another thing. Neurospicy people tend to be more childlike just because everything's a wonder. Woo! Dopamine! We crave novelty, so we'll always find... I still play Pokemon Go, and I'm like, an adult and get a real job. And it's like, no, it's not fun. That doesn't give me the dopamine that I need. Why would I do that? That's a big spider. I always thought that Surskit was more of like one of those deep sea, like, crab spider things. That's what it looks like to me. Those super long leg crab things. I don't know what they're called. Deep sea crabs. I missed your Pika. I probably wasn't in the game. I did get one of them. I do have one of the Pikas that you sent me. Unfortunately, not a shiny, but it did have decent IVs. So I appreciate it. Thank you for inviting me. But yeah, if I don't jump into the raid, it's probably because I'm not in the game. So I don't always have my game open. I guess you also have the trifecta, as you might have depression as well. But see, that usually comes with ADHD. Because I can't, it's a, what's it called again? It's not a coefficient, it's a, I can't remember the word. But basically, if you, a comorbidity, that's the word I'm thinking of. So when you have ADHD or autism, you're more than likely going to have depression or an anxiety disorder as well attached to it, because they can cause, because of the world that we live in isn't set up for our brains. So we have a tendency of not being able to find purpose and all that sort of stuff, and it leads to anxiety and depression. So yeah, you have a comorbidity. So yeah, you're not alone in that. Like, I have anxiety and depression as well. So I also have the trifecta of ADHD, depression, anxiety. Yay! Fun! Mental issues. They're fantastic. 10 out of 10. Recommend it to a friend. Pretty sure Surskit is based on a spider that skims across the water. Probably, yeah. He's only got 4 legs. It's a pretty crippled spider. Poor little buddy. Where's this shiny? We're running out of time. I only got 4 minutes. You completely... But anxiety and depression, I mean, they come hand in hand with each other. I mean, if you've got one, you've usually got the other. Again, a comorbidity. May as well add dementia into the pile. No, that's for oldness. Well, not really. You can get dementia as a young person. Yeah. Unfortunately, that does sort of run in my family. Because my grandmother, not so much, she did have, was it Alzheimer's? Or, yeah, I think it was Alzheimer's. So yeah, we have that sort of running in the family as well. So there's a possibility that I could end up with something like that at an older age as well, which is just going to be fantastic. But luckily enough, she seems to be the only member of the family which has had it in sort of like recent generations that I know of. So there's probably a small chance that I will end up with it, sort of thing. Sometimes life is terrible and everything is miserable. Yes, unfortunately, that is what life is sometimes. I've been there. I know what it's like. Always know that there is, sun on the horizon sort of thing. As bad as it may seem at any given moment, it will get better. It may not feel like it, but it will. You will overcome those feelings. I mean, it was only earlier this year that I was going through that sort of stuff, and I'm out of it now. Don't get me wrong, it still gets me, but it's not as bad as it used to be. I found ways of coping with it and pulling myself out of it and just waking every day. It got a little bit easier every day, and now I'm back in a good headspace where, I'm seeing a couple of different people. Just doing what I'm doing. I mean, that was probably the main thing, because it was relationship stuff that was putting me in that place. But once I started realizing, hey, there's other people out there, and that was something that helped me deal with it. Like, I found my coping mechanism for what was getting me down at that particular point in time. I think that's the best way of putting it. Your memory has turned to soup. That's as you get older, unfortunately. Like, I always had a great memory growing up, and then, I hit my 30s, and then all of a sudden I just started forgetting things that I used to remember quite easily. People's names and stuff like that seems to be the first thing that starts to slip. So you start forgetting things like that. Just those little things, little bits of information that you picked up over the years. Like, I'm really big into space and like history and all that sort of stuff. But details about things that I used to know just aren't there anymore. And I'm just like, I used to know that. Well, there we go, guys. Unfortunately, we didn't get the shiny. We did get a Phoebus, though. So yeah, get used to that daybreaker, because that just keeps happening. But that's fairly normal. How's the chick hunt going? Oh yeah, can't complain. I got 2 chicks that I'm seeing. Another chick that I'm sort of seeing. I'm hoping to see her on Thursday, if I can, which I probably will. I'm seeing one of the other ones on Monday. We're getting together. And then the other one, I'm hoping that maybe sometime next week I'll see her as well. So that's all good. And I'm still plugging away on Tinder and stuff, getting matches and then talking to people that don't talk back, and it's like good times. Love it. Venonat, we can catch it, I suppose. PvP, yeah, we can do some PvP. You take full credit for curing my depression. Okay, I guess I'll give you that one. No worries. You can tell yourself that. Like, I did that. I helped you with that. No, I mean, the chick that was causing me all those issues, I think, yeah, I just got a little bit ahead of myself, sort of thing, and I've just pulled myself back, and like I said, just spending time with other people and talking to them and getting to know other people has just made me go, okay, I just got a little bit ahead of myself with that one. We're still friends. We can still hang out and do stuff. It's just not as serious as I thought it was. That's cool. I was still living in that monogamous way of thinking, I think, and having other people that are in non-monogamous relationships has been what has sort of made me rethink my ideas of what a relationship is. I don't know, it's hard to break down, I suppose. But yeah, just having other people that I can, hey, we're companions and we're friends and we hang out and stuff, but we're not necessarily in a traditional relationship. But yeah, I'm cool with that because I have commitment issues and attachment issues. So as long as I don't have to put too much work into either of them, I'm like, hey, I can be friends with people and we can hang out and date and all that sort of stuff. And I don't have to get too attached. And I also don't have to commit at the same time. So it's not like we're going to, become steady or get married or anything like that. It's like, hey, we're all just in this for a good time. Jimmy, what new Venom movie? No, not yet. I mean, one of the girls I'm speaking to, she's into that sort of pop culture-y stuff. She's a gamer. So I might ask if she wants to go and see it at some point. I mean, the first time that we hung out, we were supposed to go and see the Deadpool Wolverine movie, but she was late and we ended up seeing Beetlejuice instead. Not my first choice. I did much rather want to see Deadpool Wolverine, but, it is what it is. I don't know, what am I choosing? Sure, okay, that'll do. Scammers. I don't really choose. I'm going to start realizing that you're going to use this because you use it all the time and I'm never up for it. At least Skarmory resists this move, especially if you're going to be like moves at me. Yep. Haha. Haha. You're excited for the Origins? Yeah, I can take them or leave them. I've got the shinies of both of them, so they'll be good. But I got decent ones with their special moves on them, sort of thing. But they'll be good. People will be interested in them, hosting like the raids for them and stuff, so... It's going to be a poison type move, so I better shield it, otherwise I'm going to get smashed in the face. Nobody wants their Ninetales to get smashed in the face. Oh! That's a lot of damage. Can I get it off the field before it throws another poison type? Yes. Woo! Oh, I'm sorry. I knew you were going to bring that as zoom reel, so I was just like, yeah, Muck. Have to bring Muck back in. I'm doing a pretty good job at resisting these charge moves. Sorry, Jay Baker, I'll be with you in just a second. I just need to finish beating James. GG's. All my Pokemon survived that one. That was like a almost perfect matchup for me. It was really just the thing. I'm gonna say Quagsire, not the Quagsire. That you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, I didn't really have a like dedicated matchup for it, but Ninetales with Ice Beam, I mean, did its job. And Skarmory, you know, just takes that neutral damage. So yeah, it was actually a pretty good matchup for me. Good times. Good times, man. Good times. It's November and we're already getting Christmas advertisements like Halloween wasn't. Yeah, I know. It's like that. That's what happens when you live in a capitalist society. They've got to try and milk every holiday as much as they can so people spend as much money as possible. So yeah, big events, Easter, Christmas, even Halloween now is becoming an even bigger thing where they start pushing it more and more and more and more. Any way to make money, capitalists will do it. They love the holiday seasons because that's where they make so much money. Don't forget rainbow capitalism. Yes. Yeah, as soon as it comes around to Pride Month and stuff like that, all the companies jump on board and just like, oh my god. I saw a funny meme for it the other day where it was like all the companies jumping on board for like Pride Month and all that sort of stuff. And then as soon as it's finished, it's just like them just throwing up rainbows because it's just like, okay, that's done. Enough. We don't care about, you know, equal opportunities and supporting the LGBTQ plus community. Because at the end of the day, big corporations don't care about that stuff. It's got nothing to do with supporting that legitimately. It's got everything to do with just pretending they do, just so they can sell stuff. Because if they can pretend that they're on board with everything, then it just means that, you know, people are more willing to buy from their company because they're like, oh my god, look how they support our community. And it's just like, no. It's just to trick you into thinking that they support your community. All about money. Who am I fighting? They support themselves. Exactly. Yeah. It's just to make as much money as they possibly can off of people. And if people like them, they'll spend more money. No, it's just pandering. It's all just to... It's in service of an agenda. Like they've got an agenda that they're just trying to make people buy into. That sun is like, right in my face. Okay, what are we going to go with? Not Buzzwole, because Buzzwole is not... It's not cool. Let's go with stuff that I haven't used for a while. This car next to me would leave because it stinks and it sounds bad. It's having a running truck next to you. Sure. Okay, let's just go with that. We'll run that team. Go with Buzzwole, embrace the mosquito. No! I mean, it's actually not bad, but I haven't got one actually set up properly for PvP. But it is a decent fighting type to use for PvP. Did your game freeze, Rhaegar, or... Swampy versus the Sable. Yeah, cool. Gotta love it when your game doesn't start attacking until like 3 moves in, so you're off to... So I'm just standing there doing nothing for the first couple of battles. Or the first couple of attacks, I should say. Wow, this is lagging really badly. I probably shouldn't have... No, that was a bad switch. I should have just stayed with what I had. It was a water type. And a ground type. That's all good. Oh, no, that's okay. Tisk, it's alright. I'm distracted by the car next to me. Because they just got into their car and then just started up and now they're just sitting there. I was like, guys, come on. Is lagging so badly. Well, that's unfortunate. I should have stayed. I shouldn't have switched. I should have stayed with Swampert in the first place, and I probably would have won that battle. Like, that switch out probably cost me. It's alright. GG's. GG's, it happens. Alright, you gotta return to the void. No worries, Tef. Not Tef, Daybreaker, sorry. No worries. Probably gonna wrap up the stream in a minute anyway. You're so shocked that I did the switch. I'm just not thinking. Brain just did a brain thing. Is it does. Alright, what was... More than 9 likes. If you haven't already, please do hit that like button. But it is like super bright. You can see it in the sun actually. That makes somewhat of a difference. Alrighty. I'm probably going to wrap up the stream here, guys, just so I can get away from this car next to me because it stinks, because it's just running when it shouldn't be. This is why global warming happens, because people just sit in their cars stationary without running for no reason. But yeah, alrighty guys, I will wrap up the stream. I will be live again tomorrow for Lugia raids, so tomorrow evening, same time, so if you're keen on getting into some Lugia raids, we will be here. But yeah, that's about it. And then yeah, this weekend we've also got Com Day on the weekend for Mankey, which is like great. I already have a bunch of shiny Mankeys. Cool. But anyway, guys, another piece just fell off of my phone case on my other phone. It's just disintegrating. But yeah, Alrighty, I will wrap up the stream here, but thank you for everybody that has tuned in tonight. Much appreciated. Like I said, if you haven't already, please do hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you haven't already, so you know when I go live, notifications, all that sort of stuff. And until then, enjoy your morning, evening, noon, or night. Stay safe. Happy hunting. Good luck for your com day. Not com day, your spotlight hour. Hopefully you guys will get the shiny that I did not get. And I'll see you tomorrow evening for some loogie raids. Until then, peace out. Have a good one. I'll catch you then. Bye. Bye, 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 bye.